everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kassiah, this is SiahSwag, and today we are going to be doing the rolled handles from the Monroe Handbag by Linds Handmade. I have promised a tutorial on this, and we are doing this in the upcoming retreat, so I really wanted to get a practice in on this, and I'll show you how I do it step by step. She also has a great tutorial with her Monroe handbag on how she does the handles. There are certain key things that you need to make these look really good. And trust me, don't skip them because I've tried and it doesn't come out the same, okay? Couple of key things is your cording for the inside of the handle. Cotton cording will not work. Stuff like this, it won't work. I've tried it. You need, is this like paracord or climbers cording? I'm not sure what this is considered. I will link what this product is in my Amazon shop down below in the description so you can find it. Amazon carries it. I got it in this big old roll right here. It's great stuff. This is gonna make a good handle. The other thing you need to think about is the type of material you're using. This handle is meant for leather or faux leather. And when I mean faux leather, it needs to have that leather backing feel on it. That is super important because it will adhere to the glue. It will go around the cording correctly. Like, material counts on this. So this is the faux real vinyl from Tulip Bee. One of my favorites. If you don't have leather, this stuff is awesome. This is what we're going to use in black. This is what the piece looks like. You have to get the pattern to get this template. The other important thing is the glue you're going to be using. We are using leather weld glue. It's called EcoFlow Leather Weld Leather Adhesive. Very important that you have the right glue for this. You can also get a small bottle of this on Amazon. Again, I'll link it below in my shop. What else do we need? Okay, so the hardware we're going to be using these specialty pieces because they have this D-ring on them as well. So you can attach a crossbody strap. If that's not something you need, I'm going to be carrying these pieces in my shop very soon. This top part comes out. It's an actual screw, right? So you can take this top bar completely out and sew your handle without it and then slide it in when you're done so you're not fighting your hardware. I think this is going to be a game changer for these rolled handles because you really kind of fight the hardware when you do your stitch around the whole thing. So keep an eye out. I will have these on the shop soon. Other important thing you need is paints. We have a base coat. I get mine from Mojo Sews. I have a base layer and just a black to match my vinyl. We will be edge coating the edge of the handle. The other thing that seems silly but actually helps a ton are these big clips right here. These I got off of Amazon. You can get them in a pack, and you'll see when we glue it and close it together, we will be clipping this all along the handle edge, and it's going to help the glue hold the pieces together while it dries. Super, super helpful. Is that all of the pieces? I think so. So that's everything we're going to kind of be using. Of course, we're going to be using some double-sided tape. And yeah, I'm going to show you the process and the steps. And these are going to turn out so good. I'm really excited. Let's start. Okay, so I have my handles here. I have some interfacing. You could use Decaville, whatever you want to do along the two ends here where your rivet holes are. You want to protect that. So I have that on both ends. I have my center line marked all the way down so I know where my center is. And the first step to this is we are going to put tape, which I already did. I put tape along the ends right here. And we are going to fold them 1/4 inch in. And we are going to sew just the ends first. Okay, we have to do like a faux stitch first for those ends. So you could measure a line 1/2 inch in, but it's kind of obvious where these fold because of the cuts, right? You just fold it so these cuts lay nice. So I'm just going to take the tape off. This one lays kind of like at an angle here. And you're going to do that to all 4 of these ends. Okay. So when one end is all folded, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay. So that is what one end looks like. It's not perfect, but it's beautiful. Okay. Like that. And so from the front, it's going to look like that. And this piece is going under. So your hardware piece is going here, and that piece is folding under. And then your handle is going in. Okay. Just like that. That's the idea. All right. So I'm going to take all my pieces, and when that's folded too, if you give it a good roll with a little tool here, that's going to be good. And then we are going to top stitch all of that down too. So I'm going to sit here and just fold all these corners in first, and then we will take it over to the machine and we will be stitching all of these 4 ends together. Okay, so there's one all folded and ready to go. Oops, right there. All right, I'm going to do the second one here. Okay, so now that I have those all nice and folded in, I'm going to take these over to my machine, and we are just going to top stitch starting here, up, around, and back down. So pretty much you're just top stitching the 4 ends of the handles. Okay, here we are at the machine. I am going to sew just these ends down. I'm going to start right here, and we're going to do a top stitch length down all the way and back over to this side. And just be aware you're sewing through tape. So I have an alcohol wipe nearby, and you don't have to pull through your stitches right here because this will be trimmed down when you finish your handle. And you'll see what I mean by that. So don't be too crazy about, you know, you can just do one little back stitch there and you should be good to go. And just go nice and slow and do a top stitch all the way around the end. And I know it's black with black thread, so it's a little hard to see. Apologize for that. I'm going to wipe my needle off real quick just to make sure. Okay, just like that. Pretty easy. Okay, it looks like that when you're done. Beautiful. That's what the back looks like. All right, I'm going to do that 3 more times. Okay, so I have both sides of my handle are sewn down now. So the next thing we need to do is get some rivets here and our connectors. Now we're using these connectors from my website. I made them especially for this retreat for Lindsay because she wanted to be able to hook on a crossbody strap somehow. And so this is the route we decided to take. We're going to use this on all four, so you have the option, and so they all match. This D-ring part is going to be underneath the back side of the handle. It seems a little funky, but it's correct. So you're going to go down the middle and then back up. Okay. And it's going to hang like this. So you want to see just the bar here. And then this piece, when your handle's all done, this piece will be up against the bag, up like that. So when you hook on your crossbody strap, nothing's pulling weird or laying weird. It'll work out, trust me. So this goes behind the handle. Whoops, all of my rivets. Okay, so we want to rivet these connectors on before we take our next step. Okay, I'm just going to place all my rivets on. All right, that's what it's going to be looking like. Front, back. Okay, I'm going to take these to my rivet press. I'm going to press all of those on, and then we'll go back over to the table, and we need to do glue and the cording next. Okay, so now we need to glue this in and together. And I did forget to mention, you need some kind of like foam brush to spread the glue. I only have this bigger one. You don't need this big of a brush. So this glue has to dry a little bit before you want to tack it down. So you're going to want to just spread that out on your handle. I'm going to move this one for a minute. Okay, you're going to want to glue everywhere it's going to fold, which is basically all of this. Okay, just do a little at a time. And this glue has to sit for a few minutes and get tacky. And I know it's like, what? It has to get tacky. You'll understand what I mean once you use it. Like, you'll be able to tell when it's kind of tacky and ready. And this is the important part that you need to do so your rolled handle isn't wrinkly. Like, the rope needs to adhere to your material in order to get a nice smooth rolled look. And if it doesn't do that, then when you put your handle curved like it needs to go, your material will be wrinkly. Your vinyl or leather will be wrinkly if you didn't glue whatever cording you're using in between the two layers, okay? So that looks pretty good. It's pretty thin. I didn't put it on thick. Okay, so it's gonna sit there for a minute and get tacky while I do this next side, okay? And I'm not putting a lot on at a time. I really am just using little bits and spreading it out with this foam brush. I just need a little bit, a dot on each end there. It's easier for me to go this way with it. One more dot right there. Beautiful. Okay, it's already been sitting here. I'm going to let it sit for a couple more minutes and then we're going to put our rope on and fold it. But you do need to let it sit for about 5 minutes and it'll get tacky, okay? It's still wet right now. You don't want it wet, you want it tacky. Okay, so it's kind of tacky now, which is where I want it. I'm going to lay this in the center and I'm going to use these big old clips to clip around it, okay? I want to center this. Looks pretty good. And now we're just going to get this all clipped and I will show you. We're going to be kind of rolling this too in the center to get that glue all around. You want to just really squeeze it. Just doing some initial clips here. I'm going to roll my material in my hands like this, and it's going to kind of attach to that rope all the way around with my material. Okay. Clip down here. And here. See, it's sticking together already, which is what you want. Here. Okay, I will readjust my clips in just a minute, but I just want to get you the initial. Oh my goodness, come on, hands. Now your edges do not have to line up perfectly because you will be trimming them down once you top stitch. Okay, so I've got it all clipped on. All right, but I want to sit here and kind of squeeze my material around it and get it really, really glue all over, okay? And then I'm going to take my clips and just line them up along there so it seals. It's really going to seal along the rope. And I will have it, so when I go to sew it, it's all going to stay together and it's going to look beautiful. Okay, trust me. All right, that's what you want. I'm going to hurry and do the second one before it dries here. We are going to let this sit for a little bit until it's all sealed. All right, so I'm going to sit here and kind of roll it all together and rub it. I want all my edges to connect with that glue. All right, and then I'm going to line up the clips along it. Okay, she looks good. All right, so those, I know it looks funky, but that's what we're looking at. It's going to really attach to our vinyl. So when our handle goes to be curved and folded in the end, we're not going to get wrinkles along the inside of the handle, okay? This is where that eliminates that. You have to get it nice and attached and glued on there and let that glue dry so you don't have, and you can take your handle and kind of look, is it wrinkling? Looks pretty dang good to me. All right. I'm going to let these sit and dry for about 30 minutes and then we will sew them up. Okay, so it's dried. I already sewed one of them together. So I don't know how well you can see. Yeah, I think you can see it pretty well. So I measured from this edge in 5/8 of an inch as my starting point, and make sure everything is lined up and centered, right? You don't want to be like sewing off to one side or the other and these not be centered. So make sure your pinch is centered. I'm going to start at that 5/8 of an inch in line and kind of angle it in towards the cording. And I switched to a zipper foot because you want to be able to ride up against that cord, that handle, as close as you can. You want that nice and tight. So a zipper foot is the key to this. On my machine, it's easier for me to sew going this way. On the Sailrights, Lindsay sews going this way because it's big and bulky right here on the Sailright and you can't get your hardware past. So depending on what machine you're using, do it the way that works for you. But I started here, kind of angled it in and went all the way down that cording. And then when I came back over here, I kind of drew my marking here too in my angle. And then you come back up to that same area. And then we're going to take some really nice sharp scissors and we're going to trim this whole area down as smooth and even as we can to about 1/8 of an inch before that stitching. And then we'll be edge coating it. This might be the best I've ever been able to sew this. So let's cross our fingers and hope the second handle goes as well. All right, so I've let this dry for quite a while. I may or may not have gone and laid down for a little nap. All right, so as you can see, it stays nice and tight without the clips, okay? So I am going to get my pen and my ruler and draw my beginning and ending. So again, I want to do it 5/8 of an inch in from that edge there. So I'm going to start right there and I'm going to kind of draw myself a little angled line so I have something to kind of follow. Same for over here. I'm going to draw my 5/8 where I want to end my stitching, okay, and kind of draw a little angled line for me to follow. All right, here we go. Nice and slow. I will be back stitching. You really have to kind of manipulate this and squeeze it underneath. Okay, kind of like that. All right, and I'm going to hold my threads. I feel like that's a nice good angle for you guys. All right, here we go. So I'm going to take it nice and slow. Okay, here we go. Get that hardware out of the way, squeeze. And I'm going to kind of angle it in. And I'm really going to ride right up next to it. You see how close I am up next to it? I'm squishing it as close as I can get. I don't want that thread up here. Okay, and then I'm going to be coming off at an angle up here. Kind of following my little pen markings there. Let's see how it looks. I think that looks good, you guys. So this also is important that you kind of match your thread to your vinyl. So if you do have a couple of mistakes, it's not going to show as much with your matching thread and vinyl. It really does help. All right. I mean, that looks pretty dang good. So there are my two handles. The trick is, oh, look at that. That's the test right there. If we have any wrinkles when we curve it around, and we do not. Look how pretty that looks. All right, I'm going to trim this down very carefully. All right, so the key is to have really good, nice, sharp scissors. I love these Kai V5165s. They are super good and sharp, and I am just going to very carefully trim these down. You know, and if you really wanted to, you could probably draw your cut line. If you were worried you'll do it uneven. I'm sure that is an option. Okay. It's nice and smooth. It looks good. Ooh, so when she's done, she'll go like that. Looks really good. Okay, so now this edge right here, we're going to be edge coating. My perfect combo that I like is 2 base and 2 top. You don't have to do 2 base and 2 top. You could do 1 and 1. But I figure that's my favorite combo. I feel like it gets it really nice looking. So that is probably what I'm going to do. I probably could have gone even a little closer to my stitch line on these, honestly. But I think we did good. I think it's good. Okay, I'm gonna take my lighter. I just have a couple of like little threads in here that need melted. I've got a little silver marking pin right there. Get that silver marking pin off. You don't want that staying on your handles. Okay. Guys, we are in the home stretch. So now all that's left is to edge coat these, okay? Okay, let's edge coat. I have some base edge coat paint from Mojo Sews. It's this nice little thing. I'm going to do 2 layers. I like to do 2 layers of base and 2 layers of a color. So I'm doing just black. You could do an accent color. That would be cute. Whatever works for you. I like this roller. There's a couple of different ways to apply, little tools to apply this with. Some people like to use a toothpick. Totally up to you what your method you like best, but this is mine. And so it's nothing thick. It's just a nice thin base coat. And this just gives you a nice solid surface for the paint. It makes the paint go on so much better and look amazing. So do not skip the base coat. I know from experience. I have tried skipping the base and then my paint just looks horrid. So don't skip the base. It's all about the base. No trouble. All right. Easy. This takes like 30 minutes to dry, and then you can put on another coat. Again, I'm going to do 2 and 2. So 2 base, 2 color. and then we'll come back and we'll see the final result of these handles. These are so doable, you guys. Go get this pattern and try the rolled handles, because I'll tell you what, it totally elevates your bag. It makes it look so professional. 100% worth your time that you put towards these. Almost there. All right, so I'm going to let these sit. I'll do all my coats and then we will have the finished product. Okay, we're all done. I have done 2 base coats, 2 color coats. You don't need to do all that if you don't want to, but I really like the end result it gives it. And these are my handles all done. Aren't they cute? The one thing that Lindsay does like to do is she likes to get a piece of like string or something and tie this handle together, so it kind of gets used to being pulled like that. So when you put it on your bag, it kind of goes naturally. So just like that, just kind of hold it to the side like that until you're ready to put it on your bag. But that's it. Those are our handles. I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Again, Lindsay has a tutorial on this bag. I'm pretty sure she shows this process as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out. Everything I used in this video will be linked down below in the description. So go peruse that if you were looking for something specific that I used in the video. And thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.